it's the first international break of this season. All eyes were on, well, many teams around Europe, but obviously ours mainly on England. Obviously, the first game for Lee Carsley in charge of England, and well, what do you think?
Yeah, I thought it was positive, particularly the first half. I thought they played some really good football. They were getting the ball looking forward. The press was really good. It was really interesting that he picked Anthony Gordon on the left-hand side. Like lots of people were saying that Gareth should have done that in the summer. And I think he justified his selection. I thought he offered us pace and he was really direct. Of course, it's his runs that he's really good at doing helped set up the first goal. Declan Rice, I thought, was superb in midfield, always getting the ball, looking forward, driving forward, more like the Rice that we see in an Arsenal shirt. So yeah, I thought it was positive. It's always going to be difficult to judge in these games when the opposition, the Nations League games are, Republic of Ireland, Finland, Greece, I think it is as well, isn't it? So not great opposition, but you've just got to go out and you've got to perform, and I thought they did that first half. So yeah, it was good.
I think it was a little bit more than just positive. I thought it was really positive in terms of, we're talking first half really. Just the whole balance of the team for me is what I liked. And I know we talked about it a lot at the Euros, where if Kane's going to drop, you've got to have runners. Anthony Gordon, and his interview that he had with ITV, I thought it was just very interesting, because when we was talking about England during the Euros, we wasn't being negative at times. We've been maybe too positive at times. But all what we were saying or thinking, Anthony Gordon basically said, where it felt like they wasn't playing with freedom. He used the word dynamic, and all these sort of combinations and rotations that we wanted to see weren't there. But in the game, especially for the Grealish goal, where it's 1-2 movement, pop it round the corner, runs into the box, can you finish? Really enjoyed Grealish in the number 10 role. At times he was going really deep and trying to link. It all intertwined very well. So I'm not looking at the opposition. I'm looking at what were they trying to do in the game. Play through the lines, be good composed on the ball, running behind, allowed Kane to look a lot better because he could come deep, because he had the runners. So I thought it was a really positive performance.
Didn't you think it was interesting? Did you read Harry Kane's quotes as well in his press conference, or listen to Harry Kane's quotes in his press conference about a lot of the players underperformed, they didn't play as well as they should have? Yeah, it was strange. We were getting criticised for being critical of some performances. It was really interesting to listen to his quotes.
The one thing you would say, though, Al, you got to back your manager, haven't you? So
yeah, I get that. We've all been in this camp.
From a fan's point of view, it's all like the players are going to say what they truly feel now after the event. But when you're in a bubble and you're in a group, sometimes to the media, you're just telling them whatever, or to try deflect what really is going on. We all could see it with our eyes, and it's just now they're coming out and being a little bit more honest. But I don't blame the players for protecting the manager, especially in the Euros, because we're sort of hanging on every single word during the Euros. So yeah, but it was plain to see what was happening.
Yeah, it was very difficult for the players during the Euros. They all knew the team was underperforming. I think the fundamental difference that I saw, certainly in the first half, was that we know Gareth Southgate's a relatively cautious defensive coach. I always thought that when we played under Southgate, and obviously England overall, they did very well under Gareth over the period, and he was the right man at the right time. But I think as they progressed and as the players, we had greater quality and more people to choose from, I think he fell slightly into the trap of playing to try, basically playing for your weaknesses rather than playing to your strengths. So I think the cautiousness was because, we're not great in the defensive part of the game. We're not great We haven't got two natural holding players that are really defensive minded. And I think that because of that, there was a relatively negative and cautious attitude. The one thing I noticed today, particularly in the first half, was that we played higher up the pitch. That, as you said, Anthony Gordon got behind, which I think was really important, because you need that to stretch a team, and that will automatically push them into their defensive third. So I think we were playing perhaps more to our strengths than worrying about our weaknesses. Now, within that, you'll look at it and say, well, occasionally that looked a little bit vulnerable to the counter-attack. So what? So what? It doesn't matter. As if you've got to back yourselves against opposition, particularly opposition. Let's be honest. Republic of Ireland have not got the players that they had certainly in my era. That's for sure. But having said that, you could say the same thing about some of the sides in the Euros. We played against weak opposition and really struggled, and still played incredibly cautiously. And I think we played more attacking, attractive football in the game in the first half against Ireland than we did certainly against against teams like Slovenia or Slovakia, who are equally weak opposition. So, you can't read too much into the first game, but I thought it was really encouraging. I think it's great to see Trent in the side. Some of his passes were superb, particularly obviously the one that he hit for Anthony Gordon that led to the first goal. I mean, what a pass that was. And it just strikes me, I just think, how can this guy not be in the team somewhere? He's so good. But I think it was that thing. All we've ever focused on is Trent's weaknesses when it comes to England. And defensively, he might make a mistake. But he might make one mistake, but he might give you two or three, opportunities to score because he's so brilliant with the ball at his feet. So I think, it was encouraging. A really encouraging start. I mean, he's only been working with the players a few days. He probably only met a lot of them for the first time just less than a week ago. So I think I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the first half. Some of the football was really good.
No, it's positive. Yeah, he'll be proud. He's been successful with the under-21s, and we've said it before about that's how Gareth got the job. So, and it's a really good opportunity for him. So he'll sleep well tonight. He'll be really proud, him and his family, of being England manager and getting the right result, going to Republic of Ireland and winning like they did. So yeah, good for him, and he'll look forward to Tuesday night now and hope for more of the same at home to Finland.
Yeah, I also thought it was really imaginative to play. I mean, you mentioned it already, Micah. Jack Grealish in the 10 role, because I think I've always thought for him perhaps that's more of a natural position. Now I know it's going to be difficult for him to play there, considering the talent that England have got in that particular position. But when he's on the wing, he's amazing at keeping the ball, and he wins free kicks all the time because he's so hard to get the ball off. But the one thing you would say perhaps about Jack is he lacks that little burst of pace to go past people. But he's so good on the ball. He doesn't give it away, and he was, I thought he did really well. And you have to think about it, he's not played there if he has. Well, he has in the past, but certainly not for quite some time.
Well, Jack's an extraordinary player. We know that. I think sometimes it's been difficult because when you're at a club like Man City and it's full of stars and you're not getting goals and assists, I take your point about on the wing as well. Maybe he's quick enough, but that, just like you said, that burst to get away. Yeah. I think he feels more in the game when he's in the number 10, and he doesn't just stay in the number 10. Like I said, he comes up, gets the ball deep. And the one thing I would say about Jack Grealish, he's not afraid to lose the ball. And when players who are trying to create something, they might give away the ball at times. They might frustrate you at times, but often they will open up a door, whether it's an assist, whether it's a goal. I was just so happy for him today, because I think when you go for £100 million, everyone expects so much. And like I said, when you've got so many top players around you sort of outshine you, it can be difficult, and you can go into a place where you feel you're not good enough. And I think he needed that. He said his frustration about not going to the Euros, and I think because we had a 26-man squad, even though he didn't have his best season, he felt he could still offer something. So going in the squad and getting a goal, getting his confidence back, I think it'd be, it'd be great for him going forward now.
It's interesting as well, isn't it, that perhaps some of the things that fans were most disappointed about in the Euros, probably possibly three things, maybe more, but everyone wanted Anthony Gordon kind of to play on the left, didn't they? Because we all saw that there was a weakness and an unbalanced side. And also that he could run behind players, because we all know Kane likes to go short. So you've got to have a threat behind. Yeah. So he did that. The other thing was he left Jack Grealish out the squad, which a lot of people were bemused by, and he's come in and performed really well. And obviously, he never really trusted Trent Alexander-Arnold. So, in the first game, Carsley's come up with all these things, and it's sort of, a lot of us are going, well, you see, we told you.
Yeah, but they sort of work together though, guys. I think when you talk about Gordon, and this is not to stick up for Southgate, but we all agreed that Walker probably should have started the competition. We know defensively he's a lot better than what we have, especially on the counter-attack. I think having Trent, and you said a couple of years ago Trent could play midfield. 100% agree with you. But if you look at, sometimes it's too congested in the midfield. I think the great thing about it is when Trent starts at right back, your midfield can take one of their midfielders away that allows him to go into midfield and have time to play them passes. And if you saw in the game today, if you looked, when Trent got on the ball, all he was looking for Anthony Gordon. If you have Walker in the side, it's a slower build-up. It's different, they've got different assets to their game. So I think having Trent and having Gordon works perfectly together, because Trent's always looking for that pass and Gordon's always looking to run in behind. So, it's...
And the other thing perhaps we've not really seen with England in the last few years is that when Trent did do that thing with right backs or full backs do now, where he turned into an inverted, whatever they want to call it, but he turned into a midfield player at times. His passing range is truly extraordinary.
His pass was fantastic, wasn't it, for Gordon with that run, and Gordon's gun.
I don't know whether you noticed it, but he actually hit a pass in the first minute of the game that was like, wow. It was
brilliant.
Incredible.
No, we know that. He's fantastic at that. Also, guys, what's your take on the lack of celebration Rice and Grealish? I loved Grealish when he said, "Sod that, I'm not." I loved it. I thought it was brilliant. I mean, I get Declan not wanting to celebrate, but Grealish is having none of it. I loved it. Brilliant.
It's funny how football throws things at you as well. The two players that scored are both
Isn't
the
it?
ones that could probably have played. I mean, obviously Declan was a Republic of Ireland player for quite some time, so it's mad. But yeah, why wouldn't you celebrate? I mean, I totally get Declan, because obviously he played, youth levels and other times for Ireland, and he had to make that real decision. So he definitely didn't want to celebrate.
But so did Grealish, though. Grealish played the youth age at Ireland
youth
as well,
didn't he?
Yeah, so
youth. I know.
It was
Brilliant
strange.
celebration. Loved it all day. Tell him well done, Micah.
Yeah, rubbing salt into the Irish wounds. Rubbing salt into it. What else caught your eye in the game?
I think we have to give a little bit of praise to the debutants. I think is it Angel Gomez? I've heard Angel Gomez. I've heard Angel Gomez. He made his debut, didn't he? Not a player that a lot of people would probably know about. He was actually at Man United as a kid, I think, and he was sort of like a attacking midfielder. But he went to the 21s when they won it. He played as a holding midfielder, dictating play. And he plays in France for Lille. Is it Lille?
Yeah.
Lille, yeah.
He just signed, yeah.
Lille. And I've not seen too many of his games, but I looked at his stats. He got, I think, 10 assists from like a quarterback area on the pitch as well. And he almost looked like a kid playing with adults today. Like, he'd get the ball, he'd move, he had so much energy. But it was nice to see someone get a chance who probably fans were scratching their head when he was named.
I thought Mark Gahey, again, looked really impressive. I just wonder, Alan, why Newcastle didn't go for him in the summer.
He looked good, didn't he? I thought his passing was really good as well. I thought that he, you know, when you're fizzing it into the midfield when you've got to get through and break the line, I thought some of his passing was superb. Didn't have to defend that much, but I thought when you're on the ball and you've got possession, then you need someone, and I thought he was really good at that. Yeah,
encouraging start. Yeah. Shall we sing the national anthem? What did you make of all that? I mean, crikey, they do like to stir things up, don't they? I mean,
front pages, back pages, it was everywhere. It was everywhere, wasn't it? It was.
I find it bonkers. If someone chooses not to sing, it doesn't. You know, for whatever reason. I remember some players don't sing because they're too shy. I used to kind of sing a bit, but not too loud because my voice is terrible. I always felt a little bit self-conscious singing on a football pitch. Didn't feel comfortable with it. I don't know. I just think it's a bit weird.
You're going to be judged on bloody football results, not whether you sing the national anthem or not.
I know, exactly, and that's what counts. But
yeah,
Micah, were you a singer?
Sometimes. I feel as though
I remember seeing you line up with England. Actually, Micah, I've seen footage of this. I remember you, and I saw you standing there, and you went, "We buy any car, we buy."
I mean, we buy any car if you want to sponsor our pod. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, where are they? Then we'll all sing it. We'll all sing it with Mike and we'll do our moves.
We buy any car. But you've got to do the moves.
Yeah, but don't overdo it, Micah, because they won't bother sponsoring us if we're going to do it for them anyway.
True.
Just wrap up a little bit on England. Obviously, you've got to remember as well that quite a few of the big stars and talented players were not available. And so who comes in? Who's given themselves the best chance, do you think, that have come in today of the players, particularly the ones on perhaps on the fringe? Grealish, Colwill,
Gordon,
Anthony Gordon, of course, and Grealish playing in that 10 role. So
Anthony Gordon, I thought he was really positive in what he said before the game. When you say what he did, when you're as positive as he is, then you've got to go out and perform. And I thought he performed really well. I thought he gave us great energy on that left hand side. So yeah, Anthony Gordon for me.
I think it depends how they're going to play. I would agree with Val. I'd say Gordon. I think if we're looking at that one space, I'm looking at left back as well because Levi Colwell's a very good player. Did really well again tonight, but he's not a left back. He's a centre. He's a centre half. Defender, really. Luke Shaw's always picking up the injuries. I think that left back spot. I mean, it's up for grabs if someone can really grab it. But as for tonight, I would say Gordon. I think when Bellingham and Foden come back, I think it'd be difficult for Grealish to play in that number 10 role. Mainoo's going to play now, isn't he? Rice has got to play. So you're looking at Foden or Bellingham in the number 10. So yeah, I'd probably just say Anthony Gordon, really.
I'd go Trent Alexander-Arnold. I just thought his passing range. And he will benefit from a side that plays on the front foot. And if you play in their half, yes, England will be vulnerable possibly to the counter-attacks occasionally, but don't worry about that. You've got to, be brave, be bold in football. And Pep's shown us that, hasn't he? And Klopp's shown us that with Liverpool. And Arteta's shown it at Arsenal. You go and play in the opposition's third, and it gives you a greater chance. I think so. Anyway, so encouraging start for England.
Yeah.
Scotland was a good game. Against Poland, I watched that. I mean, Poland went 2-0 up at Hampden Park, but Scots came back brilliantly. They'd had a goal disallowed in the first half from McTominay, but got back in the second half. McTominay scored again, which he has a habit of doing for Scotland. Gilmour scored, and he was chuffed about it. Happy Gilmour.
How long have you been working on that one?
About 2.5 seconds.
Big Gilmore.
So they were a bit unlucky to lose at the end, penalty, but 98th minute.
So the challenge, I was thinking, you could see, wasn't it? Grant Handley straight away. You put his head in his hands straight away. Within half a second, you knew straight away that it was a terrible challenge, and he'd given the penalty away and lost the game. So after doing so well to get back into the game as well in the way they did, and then to lose it that way, it was a nightmare for them.
He just didn't need to do the challenge. Did he just see him out? There's no threat. It's not like guys one-on-one on goal.
It's hard though, you were in that situation. You know when you've already made up your mind, and then as it was going down, you think, I've made a mistake here. He just knew straight away he'd made a mistake, and yeah, you're totally right, guys. They should have just held him up. You know what? I think we need to give McTominay his flowers, because there's so many times he's been lambasted at Man United for being just a workhorse, or he's only in the team because he's got nobody else. But what he's done in terms of attitude, application, he runs into the box really fit and good enough on the ball. And what he does for Scotland is brilliant. So he actually needs to put some respect on his name, because every time I see him play, it makes a difference. So,
did you say give him his flowers?
His flowers, yes.
A minute earlier.
Yes.
Did you?
His flowers. Have you never heard that?
No.
H. The younger boys have heard of that. H, John.
I'm getting the thumbs up.
Exactly.
Give him his flowers of Scotland. Give him his flowers of
Give him his flowers. Okay, maybe I'm not a youngster then.
You're showing your age now, Al.
Yeah.
Give him his flowers.
You got to give him his flowers,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Which flowers would you give him, Micah? Tulips, roses?
Petals?
Petals are not. Petals are the things on flowers, you donut.
I knew it.
I think you meant give him his stems. Brilliant. Did you see the Ten Hag quote about McTominay? Actually, he seemed really disappointed to lose him. And it was another one of those deals that homegrown talent and I think PSR reasons and all that. So
well, it was good money, was it? Was it 30 odd million?
Yeah, it was good money, but good money doesn't score you a goal.
True.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Wales, because new manager as well, like England, Craig Bellamy, who you've both played with.
Yes.
Blimey.
Yeah. I think when you look at Craig, we all thought that they might stay at Burnley. What's he going to do? And then that opportunity comes along for him, and great opportunity for him. Great that they can appoint him. Going to try and do one or two things differently. So I think it was a reasonable start for him also, wasn't it? 0-0 draw. Not a bad start for him.
No, as Turkey played well in the Euros, so we saw that. So
yeah,
it's not a bad performance.
I've got a quick story about Bellas.
Go on.
So we obviously both played with Bellas, and Bellas is Marmite. You either love him or you hate him. He works his socks off. When he was at Man City, he did all his pre-activation, but he would tell you how it is. If he played rubbish, he would tell you. So I've gone to see, I remember last season, Man City had Burnley, first game of the season. I go see a training session a couple of days before, and I go to the game. And I'm walking into the ground. I think it was at the ground. We went to the ground for whatever reason. I went to go see company. And I see Bellas come up. And he goes, fuck me, you're fucking everywhere talking shit all the time.
I always knew he knew what he was talking about.
I said, Bellas, what do you mean you're talking shit? He said, you boys on analysis don't know what you're talking about. You've got basic analysis, it's ABC, 1, 2, 3 stuff. If you want proper analysis, come to Burnley training ground and I will show you how it's done. And I was thinking to myself, I didn't know if he was being serious or he's having banter, but he was being deadly serious, but I didn't know how to take it, do you know what I mean? And then I thought to myself, but I didn't say nothing. I got in my car and drove home. I basically thought, he's just mugged me right off there in front of everyone. And I've basically just taken it. So when I see him again, I'll be pulling him up on certain bits and pieces.
He certainly never gave you flowers, petals, or anything, did he? Good Lord. Yeah.
Petals! Oh, love it, Big Meeks, love it.
I think one of the most surprising results over the last few days was Italy winning in Paris. 3 goals. You wouldn't have said that after seeing the Euros, although, France didn't exactly set it alight, did they? They've stuck with
What about the volley? What about the goal? The volley?
Oh, beauty, wasn't
Played
it?
a little 1-2, wasn't it, with Tonali on the edge of the box who sort of flicked it around, and the volley, oh my God, what a goal that was.
It was, yeah.
Incredible.
I mean, they were really poor in the Euros, but and they stuck with Spalletti, didn't they, as well, and might have paid off. I want to finish with the moment of the weekend, like we often do, and it has to be, doesn't it? San Marino. San Marino won their first ever competitive match, a 1-0 win against the mighty Luxembourg. The world's lowest ranked team by FIFA. It was the longest winless run in football, stretching back 2 decades and 140 games. Imagine going 140 games and 2 decades without winning a competitive football match.
Wow.
And the celebrations were brilliant, weren't they, afterwards? You see how they
I
would
saw
have
the
gone
clips.
mad. Brilliant. Well done, them. Great to see.
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
Brilliant. Okay, chaps, that's it for this episode. Let me tell you about what's coming up, though, on a Wednesday and Friday. I've been out to Como to interview Cesc Fabregas, who's the head coach there, and he gave me lots of time. So we've split it over 2 episodes, and it's about his career, obviously his time at Arsenal, Barcelona, Chelsea, and of course, so much success with the Spanish national tie. So I think you'll enjoy that. So please do give that a listen. But for this episode, that's it. So goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me. Have a great week, everyone.